大家好，我是 Macarena。Hi lovely people, welcome back to my channel. It's a girl Macarena. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you about how I learned to speak Chinese. Ta-da! Yay! If there are some of you that are struggling right now that feel like you have no hope, well, I'm just gonna give you a few pointers on how I was able to learn to speak the language. Maybe it can help you find a way around it. When you come to study in China, you are to learn Chinese as well, together with Chinese culture, because I don't know, it's just compulsory in a way, but also it depends on which major you are studying. Most of the Chinese I learned was in the classroom. I didn't just, I'm not one of those people who are so good at grasping a language that I can just go and meet people and talk and I don't have that motivation to study on my own. On top of that, I was studying medicine, so I just don't have that time, honestly, to be sincere with you guys. I learned it in the classroom, and because I kind of had to, and at the same time, I know even if a subject or a language is compulsory, it's still really hard to get yourself to do it if you don't have the drive, if you're not passionate in learning it. I personally did want to learn Chinese for a long time. Well, it was not like I really want to learn Chinese, but I think looking back on like my childhood, watching a lot of movies, I think Changlong's movies, Jackie Chan, as most of us know, Jet Li, I always thought, wow, Chinese language sounds so complex. But at the same time, I'm this kind of person who feels like, you know what, you can learn anything, you can do anything you set your mind to. If someone can learn it, so can I. And I never really got to it. It wasn't on my list of like, languages I would really want to learn. But once I was in China, I was just like, okay, this is the right place, this is the perfect kind of atmosphere for me to learn this language, so I'm just gonna take advantage of the fact that I'm here. It's a little bit difficult, but it's not too difficult as long as you understand like the basics. So Pinyin is basically in like English. Pronunciations are different, so once you grasp the Pinyin and the tones, yeah, it's not really that hard. With characters, you can take your time to learn that, but at the same time, I would suggest that you learn everything together, because I know a few people who are learning just the Pinyin and leaving out the characters to like later when they're a lot more comfortable with the Pinyin. But I think it's smarter to learn everything together and not leave the other to lag. Just don't stress yourself so much when it comes to the tones. With time, when you get used to it, when you spend your time around people who speak Chinese, you're gonna get used to the tones, and when someone pronounces it in a different way, you're going to think, oh no, you got that wrong. So that's how you know. Now you do know Chinese. Now you can understand and you can tell the difference between all the tones. Some people are really good at one thing and not good at the other. I personally can read the tones so well, but when it comes to speaking, making up sentences on my own, I get stuck sometimes. I'm like, oh, where's this one? And put them together. I end up directly translating it from English, and yet sometimes the grammatical structure of Chinese is a bit different. It's kind of like the opposite. These are some of the important points that can help you learn Chinese faster based on my personal experience. So number one, I studied every day. Well, apart from what you learn in class, I still studied when I went back home, blast some music and learn characters. When you're studying characters, trying to understand the stroke order, basically from up to down, from left to right, all that. Chinese characters are pictophonetic. In other words, they look like images, actual images. The character da is like that. So it looks like someone who's standing and opening their arms wide to mean like big. When you use the pictures to memorize how to write the characters, it's so much easier to learn. The 3 Ds that appear, for example, in river, in he, or like lake, hu, so you just know it's something associated with water. It's amazing. They're kind of like associated with each other. It's just showing you how Chinese is easy in some way. You can take that with you as you go further into your Chinese studies, because it's hard to remember these characters and the stroke order and everything. So just try to picture something. For example, how I remember the character I, it's like there's heaven, then it's raining, and then there's like an umbrella, and then we're together, who love each other, who are protecting each other away from the rain. So that's how I memorize it. So every time I come across that, I know I have to write this and this and that, and like I put all of them in order just because of how I memorized it. So that really helps me a lot in writing characters. But this is a bit so hard. So I don't know, unless you're up for it, you don't have to do this. I thought it was a bit pointless at the beginning because my Chinese teacher made me do this. She told us to memorize all the dialogues in our books. So at first it was like, why do we have to memorize this? Like, it's such a waste of time. When you memorize the sentences and the dialogues, you get used to like what word comes after the other. When you keep saying it repeatedly, it becomes so easy. When you want to ask someone a question, you don't have to think, oh, what does this mean? Oh, what's what? And then how do you say is, and then your, and then your name, you know, like, and then join them together. So you just say it because you've said it a couple of times before, so it just easily comes. And because you've also practiced it a lot with the tones, it just comes easily and it comes perfectly out. That's one way, but it's a hard way to learn. Make friends with Chinese people. Let's say you move to China. I know it can be so hard and so frustrating sometimes to get things done, or just to go anywhere and talk to someone. Try, okay? Just try. I've been through that. I've struggled, and the times where I feel like, oh my god, I'll never learn this language. It's just so hard. You think this is the character for one word, and then you remember, oh, one word could have 4 different meanings because they're like 4 different tones. So it's just frustrating. Hang in there, you'll get better. I didn't really make friends on campus to hang out with, but at least I got their WeChat and were able to communicate every now and then. So I could type the characters, and when they reply and there's a new word for me to learn, I take it. And sometimes it's better to learn with people, because you notice that not every word you're learning in class is what's actually applied in like real life when you're speaking to someone. For example, words like ni hao ma, like you rarely hear that. You hear more of like ni chila ma, like have you already eaten? That's like the Chinese way of saying, oh, are you okay? How are you like, are you good? Like, buy food online, buy stuff online on Taobao, and they bring the package. They can call you. I know it's silly, just so they can call you and you can practice Chinese. There's so many other words I've learned just from the guys that deliver food, from the guys that deliver kuaidi, the goods, and from the Didi guys, that's the car Uber guys. Those are other ways you could practice your Chinese. And also at the end of the day, you could go to the park and meet families. There are always old men in the park playing mahjong, or they're dancing aunties in the street, so you could always like go and hang out with them, and they're very happy to hang out with you too. They're happy to teach you a few words here and there, and every time I go there, I'm always invited to go back, though I never go back, but it's nice. Yeah, take advantage of all those. If you're in a taxi, talk to the taxi guy. The other day we're in a DD, because we're seated at the back because of, you know, social distancing. The driver asked us where we went for the Chinese New Year, and we're like, oh, went to Cambodia and went to this. So as Hamish was saying that, he was getting closer, and I noticed the driver was holding his mask to make sure it's like fitting properly. I could tell the driver was getting a bit uncomfortable. Don't do it now, and please don't cough as you talk to a DD guy, because you'll scare the shit out of those guys. Listen to Chinese music. If you don't have QQ music, maybe you should download some QQ music, because there's just so much to enjoy out there. Buy a book, buy a novel, buy a children's novel, buy some comics. You can buy magazines in Chinese, and just, my school has a newspaper which I like to read every now and then. So be confident. One thing I love about Chinese people is if you approach them and you try to speak your broken Chinese, they're not gonna laugh at you because you pronounce something wrong, because you said one thing instead of the other. They're really just nice people, and they're not gonna judge you, and they're gonna help you out. So go out more often, speak to them. However broken it is, it's okay. Another way to learn Chinese is to use flashcards. You can purchase some flashcards on Taobao. I just recently started doing this, so I carry a few flashcards with me, and I look at them every now and then, and I keep them in my pocket. I go about my day, and I at least try to see them at least 3 times a day, so I can get familiar with the characters. I can be able to read them and also incorporate them in my sentences. So yeah, that's been working out not so bad so far, but I wish I had done that much earlier. Also, you can download the Pleco app. I use that a lot for school, just to learn Chinese. It has so much, has amazing idiom dictionary. It has almost everything you need in there. Take it easy. You know, it's annoying sometimes, but you'll get there, you'll get better. People have different journeys. Some people are so good at languages, they could learn in like 2 months and they're already almost fluent, or like 2 weeks. Some people it's 3 years, some people 4, some people 5. I've learned Chinese for 4 years now. I'm still not perfect. There are people who are doing so much better than me, but I'm not gonna beat myself up. It's alright, I'll still get there. We have different journeys and that's okay. That's how I was able to learn Chinese. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on my Instagram. Let's get my Instagram followers to 1,000. Yes, I'm that young on Instagram. I'm reaching to 1,000 followers, so please follow me, guys, and like this video. Subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. Thank you so much, guys. So now we're at the end of the video, and yeah, bye guys.